Finally got the hard evidence to prove my ex-wife cheated. Not sure how I feel. I know this is a long read. For those who take the time to read and respond, truly, thank you. So, my 38 meters ex-wife 35F and I got divorced in 2019. The whole thing was so far out of the blue and unsuspected that I couldn't accept the story she was trying to feed me. So, story goes like this. We were, I thought, happily married for 6 years at the time. We had gone to visit an out-of-state friend to celebrate my b-day and his, as they are only 7 days apart. Up until the second day of the trip, things were perfectly normal. Then it was like a switch immediately got flipped. She got very cold and distant, which was highly unlike her. I continually asked what's wrong to only get the nothing's wrong. So as to not continue harping on it and try to enjoy the little bit of time I have to see my friend, I dropped it. We get back home on a Sunday night and now the coldness and distance feels 10x worse. So I continually push her to talk. She just claims to be tired. So I figure I'd wait for Monday evening when it's earlier. She got home after me and still colder than liquid nitrogen and may as well have been on the moon. I continued to ask and she just said she's tired and had a rough day. So I told her I wouldn't bother her about it again and would leave her be until the weekend came. So Friday night comes around and she gives me a letter that in short says she loves me but is not in love with me and wants a divorce. We talked for a few hours, laughed a little, cried a little, but honestly I was in so much disbelief, shock, and confusion to really feel anything in those moments. So we separated, but still lived in the same house and had a mostly amicable relationship. Months prior to the separation, we accepted an invite to go on a cruise with my family. She already had the time off approved with her job and her ticket was already paid for and non-refundable. She was immediately uninvited. When I told her this, she wasn't upset as she pretty much already knew, but she then asked if I had plans to go anywhere the week after the cruise, as she was going to be meeting and staying with a guy she met online, for a week. Now, this is only a few weeks after the separation and I asked her if she had met them prior to the separation, to which she lied and said she would never cheat on me and that they just clicked immediately. Being disgusted at what I was hearing, I just shrugged it off so as not to lose my poop, even though that's exactly what was happening inside. So, multiple opportunities were given to be honest and she held firm that they didn't meet until after we were separated. Our divorce was finalized in November 2019, and she moved to Germany in March 2020 right before lockdowns got crazy, to be with him. I kept the house but we agreed that if I sold it we would split it equally. So, fast forward through all the depression and anger and emptiness up until around January 2022, I finally made the decision to sell the house and move closer to family. The home was in a very desirable area and got way above asking price and was sold fairly quickly, and I moved in May of 2022. Being that I had enough money to not rush into a poop job, I decided to take some time for myself to actually get myself back together emotionally and physically. So here we are, January 2023, and a few days ago, I saw a post in the subreddit for the city we used to live in. The post read along the lines of, me and my husband are moving to the area and wanted to know if anyone knows of any good rentals. It was too much of a coincidence to not at least check out the profile, and sure as poop, it was her. I went back through her posts and comment history, and while I didn't find any of their conversations, I did find others in which she talked about her BF living in Germany and she can't wait to see him, etc. After cross-referencing the dates on the posts, I was able to confirm they had been talking long before we separated. So, I took some screenshots and sent them to her with a civil message, basically just saying she could have told me the truth from the beginning and it would have been easier to handle rather than 2 years of wondering and all the poopty thoughts that accompany the wondering. I saw she's read the messages but definitely no response, as was expected, lol. So, I've felt pretty amazing the past few days, having finally been able to prove my suspicions inarguably and feel like I can finally move on, even though I honestly thought I had a while ago, lol. So I try not to think about it, but intrusive thoughts are just that. I just can't seem to not think about it unless I am 1000% preoccupied. I also have ADHD, so hyperfocus and some mild RSD definitely plays a role. So how do I reseal the wounds and just get to a point where it doesn't hurt and I can pick back up into my healing journey, albeit in a totally different place? I just started a new job that I'm truly enjoying all aspects of, continuing to work on my physical health, and outside of the sporadic twinges of pain from the re-injured wound, I'm overall in a good place. Okay, maybe an alright place, but I wouldn't say I'm in a bad place, just want to avoid getting there again. Story 2, my GF cheated on me. I found out yesterday that my GF of 2 years was cheating on me. I went through her phone, which I shouldn't have, and I found pictures of her with another dude. He was grabbing her biobs and his DCK was on her ass. She looked so happy in the photo, I just don't know what to do. She insists that it was when we broke up, but the photo was one of the first in her camera roll. I don't know what to do. I wish I never went through her phone. I just don't understand how she can do something like that. I see her everywhere as we work together and go to the same school. I'm so obsessed with this girl. Honestly, no girl can compare to her. I just want her back, but I know I can't go back to her. BC, it will just happen again and again. Just needed a place to rant, and as I don't feel comfortable talking about it with friends, thank you. Story 3, I want to know every detail. Is that too much to ask? I 40 meters finally discovered proof of my partner's 34F cheating over 3 years ago. I had long suspected that it had happened, but I had no proof. I have all the information, the timeline, the location, and the full name of the other person. She had used my computer and left her email open. Since we have had issues, in particular with a male co-worker with whom she Snapchatted with for a couple of months and concealed it from me, while deleting his text messages to her as well, my curiosity got the best of me. I noticed a recent correspondence with a man from her hometown. Something told me that this was the guy that I had been looking for. Over the last 2 months, she's been talking with the guy, and from that info I discovered his name, his location, and when it happened. She was on a trip home to visit her sister, who was apparently having a family crisis and needed her help, and one night went to a casino to meet up with old friends. That's all that I knew, since we share each other's location at her request. Because she often would accuse me of cheating, I watched her disappear into the hotel portion of the casino and turn her phone off for the night. I went nuts. I had absolutely no idea what was happening, if she was there willingly, if she was okay, I knew nothing. The hotel had no check-in under her name. The next day she brushed it off and told me she spent the night with her gay friend in the hotel room, a room with 2 queen beds, because they had had too much to drink. She gave me the name of the friend, and I quickly followed up by asking the hotel if that person had checked in. He did not. Since then I've suspected that she spent the night with somebody else, somebody who I did not know about. From their emails, I was able to find his full name, his phone number, his address, everything I needed to know to be able to ask the hotel, as this other guy, about the last time that I stayed there, and the kind of room that I had, as I would like to book the same kind of room again. They confirmed what I had feared. He had checked in on the night she was there. King room, 1 king bed. 1 unnamed guest in addition to him. I was devastated. After reading through their correspondence, I found out that he was one of her casual S-time partners over the years. He had always wanted more, but had accepted that she did not want that. So last night, I told her everything that I knew. She did need nothing, but promised that there was no desire to be with him anymore. And all of the intrusive thoughts are eating me alive as we speak. And they have been over the last month since I've known, since D-Day. I have a history of childhood S-time abuse, and it has profoundly impacted my ability to trust and to make love now as an adult. We have struggled with S-time for a long time, and I feel that I am just a below average lover and that she needs more than I can provide. We have tried and failed to make love more times than we have made love. I do consider myself to be on the A spectrum, demis-time. I did feel comfortable and safe enough to begin a relationship with and make love with her. Over time, that feeling of safety and ability to be vulnerable has degraded. I want to reconcile. I believe that she does, too. I've even stated that I understand why it happened, and that it was my fault, with all of the S-time issues that I have. It's been years since the incident, and so much has changed since then. We bought a home together, we have 2 dogs. We've even talked about IVF treatment to have kids one day, since I cannot naturally get her pregnant. We are going to talk tonight. I want to know everything. I want to know how it happened, where it happened, how many times, and every other detail about that night that I was never supposed to know. My question is this too much to ask? I honestly feel that knowing every detail will put all my intrusive thoughts to bed, as I will no longer have to imagine what had happened, and it may be better or worse in comparison to what I imagined, but it's what I need to be able to move forward from here with confidence that our reconciliation will be successful. I just want to know in my heart that I am worthy to her, worthy of her honesty, worthy of the truth. Even if it's a hard truth. Update: finding the truth through contact with AP, I recently discovered an affair that my girlfriend had years ago. There may be another AP, and I want to contact him and ask him about his relationship with her. I have his number and I know who he is. He knows who I am as well. Has anyone here successfully talked with an AP to find the whole truth of the situation? Any advice for a first-timer trying to get to the bottom of a possible affair by communicating with the AP? Update: I am so lost. I so badly want to reconcile. I have so much to lose. The life that we've built together, the job that I have, the dogs that we care for, but I can't get over so many obvious instances of cheating. Of infidelity. What do you do when you know there is more, but that won't be admitted to? I know there is more than one, but I only have proof of one. I feel like I have to shove it in her face, the proof that I find through my own due diligence. Why can't she just tell me the truth through the guilt that she feels from what she did? Why does it have to be guilt by proxy of me finding out and then her acknowledging? What kind of guilt is this, and does it lead to any kind of reconciliation? I'm starting to believe that it leads to nothing. I'm beginning to believe that I have to leave. Update: it's over. I am not well. I've lived through CSA and have been able to find a way out of trauma, thanks to the love in my life, to where I can fully enjoy being alive again without the ghost of my past haunting my every move. I've lived through addiction, made it into recovery, and was able to build a life in helping others over the last 8 years. 6 of those years were in the company of my best friend, with the woman that I love in the place we called home. Home is wherever I'm with you. In spite of knowing that I can survive insurmountable obstacles and odds, today has hit me hard in a way that I didn't know was possible. And today I am haunted by the ghost of the life that died on D-Day. The life that we had and shared together, the future we were trying to build, our home, our little furry family, the idea of being a father with the help of a fertility doctor, the memories we had yet to make, the memories we shared, the moments of peace and clarity that I had when I would hold her, or wake up next to her, sleeping peacefully in our bed. My grip on reality is unraveling, and I'm still trying to piece together an understanding of what is real and what is not. When I learned of her affair, 3.5 years after it happened, I looked at all the time gone by, and realized that none of it was real. The life that I had lived with her all this time, was under intense scrutiny. I remembered other unrelated incidents that were now more than suspicious, especially with this new perspective that was given to me in the form of her infidelity. She's lived this whole time with me, with no accountability for having cheated. Without remorse. With the knowledge that she can cheat, come home to me, appease my suspicions with promises of having always been faithful, and that at the end of the day, I will believe her, and life will carry on. 3.5 years. Was it the first? Was it the last? What is the likelihood that it was only one night of casting thoughts of the love we shared and of me aside for good, raw time with another man? Even before D-Day, I imagined this scenario. But up until then, it was just that my imagination. It was something that I made up that wasn't real, and I had nothing to worry about. She would never do that to me, I convinced myself. After D-Day, my imagination became my reality. And every single day since then, I haven't been able to stop thinking about this scene and all of what they felt before, during and after the rush of adrenaline that she must have felt when walking up to his hotel room with him. Imminent time on both of their minds as they exchanged glances and brushes of skin on skin, a hand held here, a touch of the small of the back there. She wants him, he wants her. How her heart beat even faster when they entered the room and he began to take her clothes off between every passionate kiss. His first touch of her nude body, hands traveling down her body until he feels her shudder. Her first grip of him as she felt how hard he was. The rush of excitement must have been unparalleled to any experience she has ever had with me. The rushes of pleasure and pain that she had as he thrust inside of her. The sounds that she made while he did so, the words that she spoke to him in between breaths, begging him to go further, harder, telling him what he was doing that she liked. Letting him know how close to orgasm she is. I know this is real because I believe those sounds and those words were reserved for me, who loved her and shared this with her exclusively. And I'm sure with her words softly but firmly in his ear, just as I would, he exploded inside of her and she let out sounds that would wake up the entire floor. But she doesn't care, she wants others to hear. The rush of being so loud that she was now sharing their experience with the adjoined rooms. The rush of endorphins after orgasm, as he collapsed next to her with heavy breaths of completion. What she must have felt as she looked into his eyes, him beaming with adoration and love for her. He loved her, he still wanted her, he missed her, and not his wife at home. The soft kisses, the pillow talk between rounds of time, and not a single thought of me. No regrets. No guilt, no shame. As I'm trying to remember what is real and what is not, this is very much real. This actually happened. She did this, came home to me, and carried on with me as if it didn't. For 3.5 years. Now that I've found out, she says she is remorseful. But she wasn't remorseful until I had the smoking gun in my hand. And all I can see in front of me is more smoking guns, waiting for me to clasp them, waiting to burn my skin to tell me, this is real, I am real, and there is no refuting it. And I still feel as if she doesn't understand what I'm going through when I see these images pop up in my mental feed. Maybe to her, it isn't real. Maybe she's compartmentalized and downplayed what she did so much, that she refuses to see what I now have to see. The thing that is more real to me than the person in flesh and blood, sitting in what was our bedroom. I'm struggling. I'm really trying to stay sane right now. It ended last night in a barrage of words and texts from me even though she was just in the other room. I guess I was trying to get her to see what I see. And the alcohol did nothing to help, quite the contrary. And this dependence of alcohol that I have now since D-Day, is more than worrisome. I am in trouble. I am in danger. Nothing is real but pain now. And nothing can anesthetize me enough to not feel it in my bones. Redditor's reactions. Redditor 1, please go be with friends and family. Put down the drink. Go to a therapist. Scream and punch your pillow. You will survive this. Redditor 2, my goodness. I've been right here. The images. The nightmares. The time stop. I'm so sorry. You're deep in the trauma right now. Do everything in your power to put yourself first from now on. No one else will. She definitely won't. Redditor 3, I share a lot of those feeling and the intensity. It is impossible put them in words. Not sure if you feel or will feel like this. My first week of D-Day I didn't sleep and for me it was like a bad dream, even that I had so many red flags that I was always ignoring. After a while I felt very angry towards the guy my ex at time and much later I am feeling angry towards her, as I know and accept that it was her choice. I knew it was her choice since the D-Day, but it may take a while till you accept her as the real responsible. I hate a lot the situation you are right now, I feel sorry. I think you really need a therapy to stop any addiction problem and most important to help dealing with this. As she cheated and broke the trust, I would break up, that will be easier in comparison if you delay the decision. Egg, if you give some time to think about the subject, you will feel she might be cheating on you. Also, as you mentioned, there could be more times and people. Sorry. Redditor 4, having been in this exact same spot, friend, I can promise you it gets better. Avoid drugs and alcohol like the plague. The gym will now be your monastery. And all that love you still have inside of you? Freely give it away to strangers and passers-by. Smile at everyone. Tell old ladies how beautiful they are. Tell anyone how beautiful they are. It's enlivening. It turns the despair on its head and into something joyous. And save the sad songs for only after you've done something momentous like a long run or an act of service. Trust me. Answer, thank you so much. Your advice is exactly what I need to hear right now.